seconds.
Okay, this is the 100-watt CO2 laser that my husband built, and this is what has replaced my Sizzix. And we're cutting the Cleopatra's fan right now with the laser. And I thought, since you were so helpful, that I would record this and upload it to Bluesky so you could see what I'm talking about. I hope he didn't fire the laser.
Okay, sure.
There we go. So the bed of this laser is 4 feet by 3 feet. And this is an awesome fabric cutter. And what's nice about it is that you're not married to the dies or limited by the size of the dies. And you can take an image from the web or wherever and transfer it into Lightburn and then get your shapes. So for anybody who has an embroidery machine, you probably know that you can like trace the outline of your design. And so that's what he does without any power on, is to make sure that he's within the bounds of the fabric. So that's what he's doing right now, testing to see how big that cut is going to be. And he's right on it. No chiller?
No, your chiller's on.
Oh. Okay. All right. So there are more pieces. So this would clearly work better with like a layer cake of coordinated batiks, but I don't have that at the ready. So I'm using yardage. And typically I would cut many, many, many of these pieces, you know, in repetition. But because this is my first one, I just want to try this and see if I can get it right. And then if I need to do, you know, 10 blocks or something like that, then the laser will just cut and cut and cut until I'm done. The other thing that's nice about the laser is that you can really economize with your fabric and minimize waste a great deal. I do a lot with strips, 3/4 inch strips. And so when I do those pieces, I'm cutting hundreds of strips. And even with a strip ruler, it's next to impossible for me to be accurate every time. And the laser solves that problem for me. So you can imagine if you're doing hundreds of pieces that this is a really great way to go. This is probably a poor example because I'm doing a one block wonder here, but yeah, I typically use this for multiple pieces. I have our blog and YouTube channel links in my bio if anybody wants to see some of the other work that we've done with the laser having to do with sewing and quilting. As I said, I've done apparel patterns with the laser too, which I hate cutting from that tissue paper, so that's really, really nice to be able to do that. And now we're gonna cut the background pieces, and this will be the last frontier for this, although I think I am gonna have him cut it in white as well, because I'm not sure what's gonna look better to my eye. And as you can see, like this is a good example of him economizing the fabric. He always does that for me. I hate waste. And I'll shred all this up to use as kind of like a confetti for some other projects that I do. So when it comes to batiks, I get pretty close to zero waste. There's just dust left. Okay, so this is loosely put together. All the pieces are cut out, but I wanted to show you that with a laser, you will get, do you see that little bit of char? Now that is going to be taken up in the seam allowance, but on some of the pieces, not all of them, you will get just a tiny bit of char depending on how much power you're using to cut. I think there's a little bit of char down here. So, but that's all in the seam allowance. You'll never see that. And the white pieces, I didn't know whether I was going to want a white background or not, but there is a little bit of flashback on some of these Like you'll see, yeah, that one. You can see the flashback. That's from the bed of the laser. The laser will hit the metal and flash back to the underside of what you're cutting. So I'll keep you posted